I will just start recording this because, as one of my coaches say, what gets recorded gets rewarded because you can watch that recording and improve. I love your theme. How you do one thing is how you do everything, and which is why excellence is something which has to be weaved into the things that we are doing, that we wish to do, that we aspire to do. So let's get started. I have a question for all of you here. And the question is, what is that one quote, if there is, which has impacted your life significantly, which has made a profound impact in your life because of that quote? Maybe you thought a different way, you acted a different way, you spoke a different way. Is there a quote like that? If there is, please put it into the chat window. I can see smiles on your faces of all the people who are there in the video. So I'm very happy. Let's get those smiles back. Yes. I can see some of you are already typing. Digital life. If you can't help it, start enjoying it. Superb. All right. Just do it, says Ashok. Live every moment, laugh every day, love beyond words. Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. There is one such quote which has impacted my life significantly as well. And that quote came from one of your club members. Yes, it was back in 2016, where I was an over enthusiastic Toastmaster who had just joined the momentum about 2 months ago. And I came to know there is something called as TLI happening. And there will be people on stage teaching you things from the stage. And so far, I was learning only from the online learnings. So I was super excited. That morning, I showed up even before the registrations were starting. The room started to get filled. And before we knew it, at 9:15 a.m., the room is full. And then one lady walks on the stage. The room goes silent. And then she says, "My dear friends, we are not in Toastmasters to be good at Toastmasters. We are in Toastmasters to be good outside of Toastmasters." And I thought, wow, that is so profound. And I believe that has been one mantra that I have been keeping with me since 2016 till now. Because everything that I'm doing, I keep reminding myself that this is why I am doing it. And this one came from DTM Sudha Balaji, who is currently serving as the international director in Toastmasters. Now, when I learned that principle, I went back to my club and I started to deliver my speeches. And that journey was phenomenal for me because I was now starting to speak about topics that I had not spoken before. I was deliberately pushing myself out of my boundaries, and I delivered a speech on whiskey. Now, my club loved it. Then I went to a different club and delivered the same speech there. And they still remember me as the whiskey guy. So that is the speaking journey where I have been pushing myself to speak about different topics like Mona Lisa. I spoke about a heart that was smuggled out of Germany so that it can be given back to the home country where it belongs. And that is the story of Frederick Chopin. So there are lots of such stories that I have been collecting throughout my experience as a Toastmaster. But the stories that we read and the stories that we experience, the stories that happen to us and the people around us, they are the ones that make an even more profound impact on our lives. And which is why today I am here to discuss with you and share with you a few ways in which you can use Toastmasters as a platform, which is not just for learning. This platform is for experimentation. This is the platform where you can become a mad scientist. You get an idea, you try it out over here. There is no impact. You can give it a try. If it works, you share it with your friends, they will try. And the best example of that was Vanar Sena that our TMOD Amit just spoke about. So when the pandemic started, I had this idea of telling stories. But you see, when an object is not in motion, there is a lot of force needed to put it into motion. And that force came from two of my best friends. And they said, Aniket, you just need to start doing it. They made me to make the poster in front of them. And I sent the first poster out. And the responses started to come in. And before I knew it, I had around 20 kids signed up. And now I'm delivering the stories to them on a weekly basis. How many of you have delivered that project in Toastmasters, which is called as um, delivering a speech to a difficult audience? Raise of hands, please. Zoom hands also is fine. You don't need to start your videos. Okay, I can see some hands going up. Thank you so much. So these kids, what they started to do is when I put out the PPT on the screen, they started to scribble on the screen. They're drawing animals, paints, and whatnot. And now me, as a speaker, I have no idea how to deal with this. So I had to evolve from there to learn how to use that, how to use that feature and stop that from happening. And as you know, kids have a very different way of concentrating on things. So after about 10 minutes, I would see some kids are going, somebody's digging their nose, somebody is again going down. Now I have to bring the energy back in the room. So that is where not just motivating your audience, but pumping that energy through this little camera into 20 different minds. That was the next challenge. So through Vanarsena, 6 months of storytelling is where I had to push myself to read those stories, practice those stories, and then deliver those stories to kids. But what really inspired me is the impact that the kids saw. There were a few kids who were not talking much at their home, but now their parents were sending me messages that now she is standing in front of the family and excitedly telling everyone how Hanuman burnt the entire Lanka and then how he dipped his tail into the water and the sound came. Psst. So when I heard that feedback from the parents, I was to the tears. So which is why Toastmasters has been a platform where I have been experimenting things, and this is something that I would like all of you to do as well. So, what are the ways in which we can do it? See, I read this book by Simon Sinek, and this book is called Find Your Why. And this has been one book where he talks about what is the why behind you doing something. When Mahendra Singh Dhoni started to prepare for the World Cup, he started 2 years ago because his why was so profound, he was so strong, he was already motivated. He started to move the pieces because that why is so strong. Just imagine if you set a goal for yourself that by the end of 2022, I will be alive. Will that really motivate you? No. But if you are just starting your journey and now you set yourself as a goal that I will achieve the DTM by the end of 2020, or if you are into inspiring people, that I will inspire maybe 500 people by the end of 2022. Now, that is one big goal staring at you. That is going to inspire you, which is why finding your why is super critical. So, when we joined the club, I'm sure the VP Education must have asked you, so why did you join Toastmasters? And I'm sure you had your own answer as well. Maybe because not everyone has that fear of public speaking. Somebody might already be doing speeches when they're in college or when you are in office, but it is the leadership that you want to try here. Or maybe it is the fluency that you want to work on, which is why each of us have our own why. And when it comes to Toastmasters, we all start with the icebreaker. Now, when I joined a new company about 8 months ago, they were putting me into new meetings every day, introducing me to a lot of new leaders. This is where I was able to use the icebreaker, which I prepared for my company, and deliver that in multiple different places. With just one difference, they did not give me the standing ovation. That is reserved only by Toastmasters. So every time you deliver an icebreaker, you get that standing ovation. There is something else. See, there is this formula or this phenomena of ripple effect. I love that ripple effect formula because one of the best examples of that is in 2017, I was contesting in the international speech contest for the first time. And as I was standing on the stage delivering my speech about how my daughter was learning how to swim, there was one shy fellow sitting at the back of the room. He quietly came in, didn't even fill his name in the guest book, and he watched all the speeches that day. And he walked out inspired. The next day, he called up, he became the member of Electronic City Toastmasters Club. Today, he is serving as the division director in Division I in District 121. So, why do we have speech contests? Why do we have international speech contests? So that we can share a great message with everyone. However, when you are delivering that speech, you don't know what ripple effect it is creating around you. You don't know that people are observing you. They're watching your videos on Facebook. They're looking at your speeches on YouTube. Or maybe somebody who is a guest who just thought, I don't know what is Toastmasters. Let me check it out what it is. But he came in and he saw Amit Singh speaking, and he will go back and think, oh, maybe I want to speak like that someday. So Toastmasters is also where dreams are born. How many of you have been through that? Where you went in with an idea, but you got a completely different idea because you saw someone delivering a speech or telling a story that you had never seen before. This happened to me in 2018 when it was Mysore. And this is where district conference was happening. And Geeta Ramanujam, I have immense respect for that lady. For me, she is the queen of storytelling. So Geeta Ramanujam delivered a session on storytelling, and the way she's told the story of the tortoise and the hare, I cannot forget it. And this is where I got a dream that maybe one day I want to tell story like that. And which is why every time you attend a meeting, every time you attend an educational session, take notes. And this is something which sounds very obvious. And sometimes we do take notes in that notebook, but then the notebook is swept away and the notes are swept away as well. Which is why another learning that I want to share with all of you is carry a soft copy of your notebook with something like Evernote or OneNote or whichever note. But what matters is you take notes about each session that you are attending, because some of these sessions will inspire you. Some of these sessions will put you in an awe that, oh, I would definitely want to do this. But then time takes its own toll. By the time you reach 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon, half of that thing is gone, which is why you start taking those notes. And this is also where one of my mentors gave me a very nice metaphor. That metaphor is be a sponge. Be a sponge. And that is one thing which is as significant as the initial quote which I spoke about, that we are not in Toastmasters to be good at Toastmasters. We are in Toastmasters to be good outside. Very similarly, you need to be a sponge, absorb the good things, absorb the messages from the speeches, and you start to use them in your life. You start to implement them in your life. And this is one way where you are getting the best out of your $45 that you have invested in Toastmasters. I would request the timer to help me out. I don't want to go over time. Now, I spoke about evolution at the very beginning of this session. Each of us evolve. If I ask Sudhir how he was 30 years ago, how he thought, what kind of books you read, what kind of movies you watched, what kind of people inspired you 30 years ago and now, there is a difference. Do you agree, Sudhir?
And yet, in my case, I would say no, because I'm a guy who sticks on to whatever he dreams of in the beginning. And
Hmm.
if you ask me truthfully, though I look aged by now, I still, in my mind, I feel I'm a young guy.
Hey,
It's a
I'm
mind
just
game.
my bad. Okay. But the example that I was trying to take is we evolve over time. What motivated me 20 years ago will not do it now. For example, when I was in college, even when I started working, I was only reading fictional novels. I was only reading novels by Lee Child or be it J.R.R. Tolkien or some of the other Harry Potters, and they were entertaining me. But then when I became the leader in my club, I became the VP education, and now I had to inspire people. I had to convince them, and that is where I turned to different masters. I picked up books, and now literally that book acts as your guide because you don't get to learn these leadership lessons just out of nowhere. So then I evolved and I started to read different kinds of books. And this is where I came across another book. And this book is called as Principles by Ray Dalio. Amazing book. Ray Dalio is somebody who is a multi-millionaire. He is the mentor of Tony Robbins. He is someone who has been a thought leader in the world of finance for many, many decades. So when I read that book, he spoke about the principle of evolution. And maybe that is something that I want to share with all of you. I hope you can see my slides. Can someone give me a
Yes.
thumbs up? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can see.
Thank you. So this is the principle of evolution. It starts with an audacious goal. An audacious goal is a goal where you will think, I am so brave to even dream about this. And this will be different for each and every one of us. When I started Vanar Sena, my goal was to reach 300 kids. But do you know how many I reached? I reached 30 kids. But it was okay. I made a start. I was able to reach 30 kids. I would say it is kind of a failure, but it helped me to learn a principle. It helped me to learn a principle of how do I reach more? What is it that I need to improve so that I can reach more people? And then I started to learn from a few new masters, the masters of the digital world. This is where then I attended a few more conferences on that and started to research. And what's happening during this time? Evolution. So then you learn a principle from your failure, you improve, and then you go for your next audacious goal. And this is the process. And as you can see, the more audacious goal is just like the beginning, which is the audacious goal. So this cycle is going to keep repeating. Maybe when you joined Toastmasters, your audacious goal was to stand in front of an audience and deliver a speech in a confident way. And maybe you froze in your icebreaker. From there you learned a principle. It could be about doing more practice, writing more, or getting a mentor, and you improved. Then you had the next audacious goal. Maybe now you want to become the president of your club. When you become the president of your club, then you learn more. Then you will fail in a different way. You will learn a new principle. You will improve. And then you will have a different goal of now you want to lead a team in your office. In the end, why are we here? We are here to be good outside. And which is why all of these different factors actually push us to really stretch ourselves from where we started and when and where you are headed. So it all starts with that audacious goal. So I want to take that 1 minute now, and timer, if you can help me really quickly, it will really help. I would like all of you to write that audacious goal about your life. It could be about your life. It could be about your Toastmasters journey. It could be about your profession. It could be about a passion. Somebody could be really interested in finance. You are working in IT industry now, but you are really interested in finance. You want to help people financially. And your audacious goal could be that you want to teach 50 people how to manage their finances. That is that one person's goal. So let's take that 1 minute now and make a note of this audacious goal for you. And don't think about practicality, because practicality really limits us. See, when we were a child, and let's say a child wants a swimming pool, a child will not think, how will I get a swimming pool? Where will I get the money? Where do we have space? No, they just think. Maybe they will even say, I want two swimming pools, one for me, one for mama. So think like a child. Don't be limited by the boundaries of reality. When you dream big, which is why I have planned my next storytelling sessions, and it is called as Pandav Pratap, where I'm going to tell stories from Mahabharata. And that's going to start in this summer. And I have dreamt big for this. And now that why is now powering me to do more things every day, small little steps in that direction, which is going to take me there. And the moment I fall short, this is where my virtual gurus are there to bring me back on track. And this is the exact same thing which I spoke about in my video yesterday. When I spoke about pushing yourself and learning from masters, one of the masters that I learned from is Darren LaCroix. He is the world champion of public speaking, I think from 2001. And when I um, when I became a part of his group, he gave everyone a challenge. It's a 77-day video challenge where you have to go live on Facebook continuously for 77 days and speak. It may not be confident at the beginning, but as you start speaking every day, you will start getting better. And which is why that massive action is that one thing which is going to keep us going on. All right, I can see some of the answers coming through. Senthil says to become an authentic person. Okay, exhibit painting in Christiante. Okay, thank you, Gauri. Um, to be financially free, use time optimally. Learn enjoying, entertaining, and ecstatic ways. Nice. Akshay says to write children's book one day, simple story written with heart. Isn't that an audacious goal as well? To become a CEO, says Karthik. See, all of these are audacious goals. Now, all they need is massive action in that direction, which is going to keep pushing you. So, which is why all my friends in Toastmasters and all the guests who are present here, if there is one message that I want to leave you with, the message is when you start taking that next grammarian role, start to think about how is it going to help me achieve that audacious goal. When you take up an evaluation role next time, is it going to sharpen your analytical skills to identify more things? When you take up that speaker role next time, envision yourself in that audacious goal of yours, and how is this going to take you from point A to point B? And when you have that clarity, we will all be on the same page that we are not in Toastmasters to be good at Toastmasters. We are all in Toastmasters to be good outside of Toastmasters. With that, I hand the stage back to you, Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Aniket. Wow, I like the audacious goal.